Yo, what's good everyone? I'm still alive. Yes, I still care about YouTube. What's going on? Team Rival Live here, and I'm gonna kick some ass today. So, where have I been? Well, I've had like a cold recently and it never really went away. Like, not really a cold, but it was like congestion. Like, I had like chest congestion and, the typical like, where it's like, it was just awful. And school started up again, and yeah, just been hanging in. But I've been playing lots of games. Well, not a lot of games. I kind of, I'm on one of those ticks where I haven't been gaming as much. I've been playing like King of Fighters, Uncharted 3 occasionally. I got a 3DS, so for Christmas, I don't think I ever said anything about that, because it's been a while. I will admit that, and that's my own fault, whatever, it happens. But I'm back, and I'm going to try to make videos more consistently, like one or two a week, probably one, especially with school, which sucks this semester. But I've been watching lots of anime. I finished Rainbow, that show that it came out relatively recently, I think in 2010, if I remember correctly. Maybe 2011, I have no clue, I'm just fucking pulling numbers out of my ass here. And yada yada yada. I painted my room, as you can see, by the lack of fucking anything, and also the different colors on the wall. And I moved my TV over here instead of over there. I like it over here, but I don't like it over here when I'm making videos. But, I'm getting some new posters. I'm going to pick up some new shit like that. I want to put some things away. I don't really want to have the same amount of fucking clutter all over the place. And so, the next few videos, there's not going to be much going on visually, which, I mean, if you've seen my videos, that doesn't really matter that much. But now, if you're a new subscriber, there will be things occupying this empty space. Right now, it is just empty space. My room is essentially empty space except for the television, PS3, 360, and then another television and another 360, because my brother and I have been playing Saints Row 2 together. I bought a copy of it because, it was fun to play. It's the fucking easiest game in the world, but I'm like, it's me and my brother had fun playing it, we laughed, whatever. But anyway, I have to come hard, I always come, I have to, when Capcom, this is a video about Capcom, steps out of line, I have to put them right back into their place. And they just really, they made one really bad mistake, like really big fuck up, especially for me. And then, the other thing, which is something that, I'm sure a lot of you are aware about, Resident Evil 6. And, no, it's not, don't get too hyped up here. I'll dissect this for you, what they did here and how they're fucking, robbing you fucking blind without doing much. Okay, but the first thing I want to talk about is Asura's Wrath. This is a game that I had been very, I've been looking forward to in the previews and at E3 and things like that, because this game just looks manly. And the demo came out in the beginning of January at some point. Who the fuck knows when? But dude, I was ready to play this game. I had, thought about putting my $60 down. I was like, I think I might get this day one, because it just, it's something that, the style of it and the storyline of it and how it's presented, it's just something that's so fucking manly and, like, it appeals to me. Like, Fist of the North Star, it just looks like Fist of the North Star, like, fast punching and all of that crazy shit. And so, I downloaded the demo. And oh my god, I really can't remember the last time I was this disappointed by a game. It's pretty fucking bad. It's not, here, let me say this to you. My initial thoughts turning on the demo, going into this the title screen, I have something in my fucking eye. Go to the title screen, and it's like showing in the background, it says Asura's Wrath or whatever, and it has the selections, and in the background it's showing like some giant Buddha god like pushing his finger down through the heavens to like squish Asura, and it's just like all this crazy manly stuff. So then you have two choices of what you can do for, you know, episodes they're called. So I guess it's just, you know, a little sequence. And so I picked the first episode, and it's the battle with the giant Buddha god. And at first, it's just like the most epic, like manliest music and just like over the top, like oh, they're getting ready to fight. And then the actual gameplay starts. And here's the hint, it's not really gameplay. They took something that could have just been an anime. They could have just made it into an anime, and it would have been a great fucking anime. I think it would have been, you know, one of the best things that has come out of anime in a while. And they tried to turn it into a game, and it absolutely fails as a game. It's not a game. You're not engaged in the game. The only thing you care about is the story, and that's the only thing I cared about when I was playing the demo, was the story. Here's how it goes down. You know, it'll have like a cinematic sequence or some bullshit like that, and, you know, the two guys are talking, and then you might have to press, you know, the left stick and the right stick, you know, in opposite directions or together or up or down. Maybe once, one in one direction and the other in another direction. A lot of fucking mashing of the B button. The game is very formulaic. Here's how it goes down. You'll do like some QTEs. You have like two bars. You have a health bar, which I don't know if this is just because it was the demo and, you know, you don't want to overwhelm people on the demo, but I never even lost like any health at all. And, you know, in a game I should actually be semi-challenged to some degree. But maybe this is just a fault of the demo. You know, you can't hold them accountable for that, because I've known instances where they've done things like that. Not Capcom themselves, but other developers. And then there's another bar underneath the health bar. It's like a rage bar. And the whole point of every single sequence you do of quick time events, and then it'll, in the case of the Buddha battle, you do the quick time event, then you have to like run at him, and like you have a little cursor on the screen, and you'll have to like trace targets and like shoot things at him. And just to build up there, it doesn't actually do any damage to him. There's no, like, he doesn't have a health bar. You're building up your rage bar, so you can activate the next quick time event, and then do the next shooting sequence, and then get the rage meter up, and then do the next quick time event. Man, don't mash the fuck out of the fucking B button for like 30 seconds. Like, seriously, they make you mash the fucking hell out of that B button sometimes. I'm like, god damn it, give me a break. Like, after, like, it should never last more than 10 seconds of a B button mash. And especially, those B button mashings happen at like the most epic time in like the whole entire battle, and all you're doing is just mashing the B button. Not even in any sort of rhythm, just as fast as you fucking possibly can, because it's like a little like bar that goes back and forth, because you're in some sort of like deadlock, you know, punching rapidly against some other guy, and all you do is mash the B button. What a disappointment, because, like I said, I had been really looking forward to this game, and I had my $60 in my hand. I didn't have a pre-order, thank God, but I was willing to put down my $60 based on the previews and based on the things I saw, and I liked the things that I saw, and I was let down. So the first episode, it was like episode 5 or whatever, and that's the Buddha battle, and I mean, there were some cool parts, but there's absolutely no replayability value. The QTEs don't change, none of that shit changes. It's just the same every single time. They hold your hand so much, and, you know, it slows down. Sometimes you can like do a counter, and it'll like slow down as it's coming towards you. Like, what's the point then, you know? That's just pretty much giving you the counter. You should have to earn the counter to get the extra damage or the extra rage or whatever the hell they're trying to give you extra. So that was the first sequence. That was pretty much all QTE based, with like the little shooting sequences. Very disappointed. I mean, the story was epic, and that's the only reason I will be getting this game when it's, you know, $20 2 months after release. But then there's another sequence in the demo, and this one was more action based. It played more like a game, but still, same idea. you'll have like the cinematic sequences, then you'll do like a few QTEs, maybe get the rage meter up, and then what will happen is you'll go into, you know, like it's like a beat 'em up essentially. You know, you have the B button is just do combos, Y you can shoot things, X you can shoot things, A you can jump, RB is a roll, and the whole purpose, you're not trying to damage the guy, you're just trying to get your rage meter up. Like, you can't beat the goddamn battles without using the rage meter like 5 times in fucking battle. Just, you know, advance each sequence. I mean, it's a cool idea, but really, I mean, you want to feel like you're kind of kicking the shit out of these guys, and you never really feel like you're actually doing any of the ass kicking. You're just hitting, you're just like, you know, you're the filler. To put a good analogy to it, you're the filler where Goku's driving the car with fucking Piccolo before they get to the actual good part. But you don't get to participate in the good part. You know, you're the fucking driving instructor, and you just sit back and watch, and, you know, if the Earth explodes, well, so be it. But you don't ever really feel like you're in control of Asura. You just kind of feel like you're watching a movie, and like it's like making you put in different sequences to continue the movie with like minute little action parts and interspersed. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I said, the story looks really fucking awesome, and the characters look pretty cool, and that's probably, you know, I'm interested in all the characters and things like that. But can't you like engage us more? You know, people are not gonna want to drop $60 on this on a movie. I'm sorry, like, you need to engage people in the gameplay. You know, let them have a little bit of free roam around. Let them, you know, even if it's kind of repetitive, let them fucking beat up some goons or things like that. You know, like I said, this is a demo, and you don't know how the final product's gonna turn out, if they'll have like filler where you like go around, explore, and do bullshit like that. But from what I surmised from the game is it's gonna be like an 8 to 10 hour adventure of just like QTE battles with like interspersed little action sequences. And wow, call that, you know, a big disappointment for the beginning of 2012. But I mean, whatever. I was kind of on the fence about Asura's Wrath, just because you can't let the manliness factor, you know, override, you know, your good thoughts in your head. You know, you gotta be wise with your money and save it for like Mass Effect 3 or something like that. Not Final Fantasy 13-2, no, I'm not getting that game. That'll be $20 in 3 months. Problem is all these single player games, they have absolutely no replayability value whatsoever, so people trade them into GameStop, and then, you know, there's an supply and demand. There's more supply than there is demand. The price drops, and there you go. So, little word of advice from me: don't buy Final Fantasy 13-2 on day one. You don't need to. And as much as I would like to buy Asura's Wrath day one, you don't need to. You can get it $20 in 2 months or something like that. But see, that was already I have beaten the shit out of something Capcom. Now I shall continue to beat the shit out of something Capcom. Resident Evil 6. We all knew it was coming. There was like a leak at the Tokyo Game Show where they showed the logo. You knew it was coming at some point, but you didn't know what was coming. And we got a pretty decent sized trailer. It was like over 3 minutes. I think it was like 3 minutes, 22 seconds, some bullshit like that. And my thoughts, it just looks like Resident Evil 5. It looks like good Resident Evil 5. It looks like they improved upon Resident Evil 5. But you didn't, like, that wasn't the problem about Resident Evil 5. The problem about Resident Evil 5 is that it wasn't fucking Resident Evil. And this game just looks like, I swear, it looks like fucking Die Hard. You know, I always say things look like Die Hard, but you need to see this game. You need to see some of these sequences of the little, like, gameplay that they give you in the trailer. This shit looks like Die Hard. Alright. Let's get the things I kind of like out of the way first. Leon and Chris are the leads in the game for the first time ever. You know, that's pretty cool to have both of them in the game. And from what it appears, I believe Hunk is, they don't say who it is, but I'm like 95% sure it's Hunk. and Ashley are going to make a return, so that also makes, I think the co-op is going to return, which, me personally, you know, in terms of a Resident Evil game, you don't really want co-op, but since they're going in this direction, I'd much rather have them make these style of games with the co-op, so I have some sort of incentive to, you know, play it more, you know, maybe once or twice, maybe 3 times, through with, you know, my friends on Xbox Live, or my brother, or something like that. So the co-op for me, it's a plus, but it's not, you know, if they were to go in a different direction with the series than they have been, I would say get rid of the co-op. That would be, you know, one of the first things to go. Because, you know, you're not going to make a survival horror game, a very good one that has co-op, you know, Left 4 Dead. Yeah, that's survival horror, but it's more survival than horror, let's be honest. But yeah, those are pretty much the only 2 things I really liked. Leon is like the president's best, you know, they're BFFs for some fucking reason. I don't know why, you know. Oh, he saved Ashley, so yeah, now you're. I guess he's just his bodyguard or something like that, his advisor or some bullshit like that. He's Leon, you know. He's not gonna be a great politician to have, you know, around the White House at the president's whim. But whatever, I digress. And now the president turns into a zombie, and zombies are back apparently. You know, no more Los Sonatos or whatever the fuck those things were called that me and Diglio had to fight in Resident Evil 5 back in the good old days. But they're completely trying to, you know, overwhelm you in terms of action. No longer is you know, 3 zombies at a time sufficient. In the trailer, he was like doing like roundhouse kicks and like kicking like 6 zombies down, and like they were just like a huge waves of zombies coming towards him. And at times that would be, I think, a cool thing to break up the monotony of, you know, that would be of like having only a few zombies around all the time, you know, never being too overwhelmed, kind of realizing you know, trying to push the atmosphere on you a little bit more, that you're really fucked, you're really in like a really bad situation with a whole bunch of, you know, infected people around you, and you could die if you get bit or anything like that. But in this game, there is nothing but bad guys, it seems. I think they did turn the horror element up a notch from Resident Evil 5. Just from, it looks like you spend some time lurking around the White House, and it's dark, and the lighting is good thing about these graphics is the lighting sequences and things like that. If you try to make it look scary, it'll look pretty damn scary. Although, you know, on the other hand, in the PS1 days, bad graphics could make, you know, some pretty scary situations, I think. But, you know, especially like Silent Hill 1 with terrible draw distances, things like that. But I'm not trying to get too off track here. And then, the worst part of it all, Chris, what happened to remake Chris? GameCube Resident Evil is fucking fantastic. The best one, I think Resident Evil 2 is like number 2, you know, but the remake is the best Resident Evil in my opinion. What happened to that Chris? Now he's like this fucking, he's exactly the same. He looks exactly the same as he does in Resident Evil 5. He's in China for some goddamn reason. Why? I don't know. There's some, you know, I guess the infection has spread all over the globe somehow. You know, they can't fucking contain it. They're slow-moving, brainless zombies, but everyone just is such an idiot that everyone gets infected. And he's like in this giant, he's in a city, a brightly lit city, mind you. People are running all over the place. He's like mowing down guys with a fucking like, not even like a machine gun, dude, like a light machine gun, like Rambo. I'm like, oh my god. Dude, what has happened to the series? Why do you need to continue calling it Resident Evil 6? I mean, yes, it's the 6th Resident Evil if you want to consider the main storyline. But couldn't you have done a reboot, you know, started from the beginning and, you know, made a new group of characters, leave these characters, they're sacred to me. Do not ruin these characters. Do not turn Chris, oh, god damn it, he's a fucking, like, juice head, he looks like, practically. And it's, the game, I'm not saying it'll be a bad game. I'm not. Like I said, it looks like good. They improved upon the things that were wrong in Resident Evil 5. It looks like you can aim and shoot now, and I mean move and shoot now, and aim and things like that. You know, that should be a necessity. I shouldn't have to tell you to do that, but yeah, at least they did it. You know, throw them a bone. It looks like good Resident Evil 5. They improved upon it, but it still looks like Resident Evil 5. That's not what people wanted. People wanted them to go back, you know, to the drawing board, come up with a different idea of how to make a Resident Evil game. Not just improve upon the sequel and just keep making better ones. You know, where's the line on this? You know, I feel like Resident Evil 7 is just going to be like good Resident Evil 6. You know, they'll just improve upon the things that were wrong in Resident Evil 6. And I'm sure they'll charge you DLC for something. They always charge you for DLC. Oh, you can get Mercenaries mode, but you gotta pay 800 Microsoft points to get all the characters. Oh, here's the characters we give you. Leon with knife and handgun. Chris with knife and handgun. And you can get Wesker, and he has a fucking assault rifle, a sniper rifle, and a magnum, all with, you know, herbs and first aid and bullshit like that. Oh, but you gotta pay 800 Microsoft points. Yeah, okay, Capcom. Yeah, okay, you're really gonna get my money day one. I mean, you know, you might call me cheap. I've busted this company's ass enough. But when they keep on doing these crusty, like, Nickelodeon, stupid ideas, completely not listening to the fan base, I don't think people did want the co-op back, I think, for Resident Evil, and I think that them bringing that back was a decent idea, you know. You could have done a lot worse, but I have no more patience for them anymore. They cancel Mega Man Legends 3. Fuck up, you know. Resident Evil 6, I don't know if that'll be a game I personally will get day one, you know, perhaps. You know, with, like I said, with my brothers, my brother might pick it up, and it'll be something, you know, maybe we'll split it or something like that. But it looks more of the same, people. Don't get too hyped over this game. You're not gonna get anything that's mind-blowing. You'll enjoy it, maybe, you know, if you're a Resident Evil fan. I probably will enjoy playing through it. I enjoyed playing through Resident Evil 5. I played through Resident Evil 5 like 2 or 3 times, actually. You know, I played once with Diglio, once with my brother, and I think another time with my brother, or no, another time with a friend on Xbox Live. And, I mean, I enjoyed it, but, you know, don't go in expecting too much. Just go in, assume you're playing a game called Survival, Hidden Survival, or something like that, or Die Hard Zombies. Whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's not a Resident Evil game. I'm not convinced it's a Resident Evil game. They're gonna fuck this up. But what can I say? We're all suckers for Capcom. It's a shame. What can we do? But anyways, guys, I do have some more reviews coming your way. Gonna film some stuff after this, and I will see you guys later. Peace.